They shake hands. They smiled for the cameras, and for a moment, the world believed something had changed. But it didn't, Beckos. What began as a quiet understanding between Netanyahu and Net, Troy Haas, now shattered into something far more dangerous. A public fallout that no one can walk away from without consequences. No more handshakes. No more backdoor diplomacy. No more. Ibrahim Traoré, once called the rising hope of anti-imperialist Africa, has officially severed all political goodwill with Benjamin Netanyahu. And this time, there's no path back. Because what happened in the last 48 hours wasn't just a disagreement. It was a global message sent from Ouagadougou to Tel Aviv. Heard in every corner of the global south. Let's rewind. Just 2 minutes ago, quiet diplomatic bacchanals opened between Israel and Burkina Faso. Netanyahu's office, under growing pressure, made a rare gesture, reaching out to Troy's government through European intermediaries, hoping to de-escalate the rising Pan-African resistance wave. At first, there was cautious optimism, a few symbolic gestures, coordinated silence, mutual restraint, but the mask never lasts long. Behind closed doors, Netanyahu demanded African silence and Israel's expanding influence across the Sahel. He wanted Troy to slow down, stop pushing other African nations toward independence from Western alliance East. In exchange, he promised investment packages, developmental porosity, and what he called mutual stability. Troy listened, but he never agreed because this wasn't diplomacy. It was control dressed in a suit. This week everything collapsed, and Troy made Sarethi world saw it. Standing before his national council, Troy removed the veil of politeness and exposed everything. His words were deliberate, sharp, and impossible to misinterpret. There is no friendship, he said, when one side mans silence and the other bleeds. Hadn't named Netanyahu directly, but hadn't have to. Every word was a bullet aimed at the illusion of partnership. What triggered this public rupture? Sources close to the presidential palace say Netanyahu's government sent a private letter requesting Burkina Faso withdraw from the upcoming Pan-African Orgy Coalition, a move seen as a threat to Western oil and gas control in Africa. That request was the final straw. Troy rejected it publicly and permanently. And what he did next sent shockwaves across every capital. Watching, effective immediately, Troy announced the cancellation of all bilateral development agreements, signed under foreign pressure. The withdrawal of Burkina Faso from all Israeli-linked infrastructure projects in West Africa. The full disclosure of prior secret talks with Israeli and European diplomats set to be released to African press in the coming days. This wasn't just a policy shift. It was a full-blown confrontation. Troy looked into the cameras and said, "We are not partners in peace. If one of us profits while Theothor is punished, Africa will no longer be anyone's buffer zone." Final blow, in front of his military command, Troy declared, "Let these be understood by those who once hook our hands while holding knives bend their backs. Age of pretending isover. If your diplomacy requires us to forget our pain, then we are no longer friends. We are resistance." Within 12 hours, 3 regional allies issued statements supporting Troy's position. Niger called it a moment of clarity. Mali declared full alignment. Guinea said, "We will not be silenced." The Prime Minister's office has refused to comment, but leaks from Knesset insiders paint a very different picture. One senior aide reportedly said, "We thought could contain him. We were wrong." Western media tried to downplay this speech, calling it nationalist posturing, but on the ground, their action was anything but dismissive. Indar youth leaders called for an Africa-wide boycott of Israeli butchers Cospian. In Johannesburg, students held marches demanding transparency in all foreign deals. And in cities across West Africa, murals of Traore appeared overnight with just 3 words: "No more warnings." This is no longer about one leader. This is about a continent waking up. And that's exactly what Netanyahu's government didn't anticipate. They treated Troy like a regional figure, not the voice of something global, something rising, something unstoppable. Troy is not playing the game anymore. He's breaking the board, and what comes next may be irreversible. So now the question isn't whether Israel will respond, it's whether they even can. It's first time in a generation. African leadership isn't seeking approval, it's setting terms. Terms based on dignity, memory, and the refusal to be Usidane. Before you go, let me ask you something. Was this the moment Africafinally drew the line? Was this the day Netanyahu realized his influence no longer reaches everywhere? Tell us in the comments where you're watching from and whether you believe this is just the beginning. If this moment moved you, hit that like button. Subscribe to Troy Uprising for more bold, raw, and unfiltered analysis of the shift shaping our world. Because this isn't just commentary,